Hey y'all, how are you? Okay, welcome to Creations by Karen. And today we are going to make a sunflower wreath. Now we're going to make one on a wire frame today because they're smaller. And I'm going to be doing a craft show. And for all of you that submitted what you thought the name of my booth should be at my craft show this year, it's going to be Sunshine and Sunflowers. And so I thought we'd make sunflowers. There's going to be a lot of them in the booth, but today I'm going to make a small one because people sometimes live in apartments and it's hard to put a big wreath that you've spent a lot of money on your front door of your apartment. And I know people have saying sometimes they just went missing. So you got to make something that's a bit more cost effective for them so that if it does take a walk, then you can certainly, yeah, you can be irritated, but for it. You can be irritated, but not have put out a lot of money. Okay? All right. So we're going to be using a wire wreath frame. And this is what a wire wreath frame looks like. Like this. And you can get these at Dollar Tree. And they're like 2 for $1.50 in Canada. In the States, $1.25. Not in Canada, $1.50. Okay, got that? And then we're going to need some mesh to do this, all right? Because we're going to fill in the center of this wreath form. And so what I've done is I went out and purchased some mesh at Michael's. I'd be going somewhere else because it was $2.50 for like a sheet of mesh, and I got 3 of them out of one piece of mesh. And we're going to secure this onto the wreath form, which I've already done. And I've done this before, so I'm not going to go through it all and show you how to do that. Because once again, you've seen this before. And put this on here like this, okay? Got that part? Okay? And it's going to look kind of like this. And then we're going to put some tie wraps. And I use 6-inch tie wraps for this, and that works well on this one. But you're going to secure this to the wreath form, this part of the wreath form. So the second rung of the wreath form, this goes on like this. Okay, got that part? So secure it on there. And you've seen me do this before 100 times, but go ahead and do that. And then you're going to put a tie wrap on each of these rungs that are here. 1 tie wrap on each rung, and then you're going to put 3 tie wraps in the center of here. You think you got that so far? Give me a thumbs up if you've got that so far. Okay. And then what I did, and I had to find a way sort of to figure this out, is I took one of these, and this has what do they call this? Tape, masking tape. And I got this at, I think I got this at Michael's. Don't buy anything really like this at Michael's. You can get this in, and I had used it for painting. So, but this was kind of the center that I used, and I just put it in the center of this frame, and I traced around it. And you want to put 8 tie wraps around the inside of this. Okay, and that's easy to do. Just make like one of these, and then dot it, and so you can find out the placement of where you want to put your petals. And I put 8 in the center. So I have on the outside, I've got 3, and I have 3 in between. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 on the outside of this frame, and I have 8 on the center. You have that. I need to sum up if I've made any sense at all. Okay, you got that part? Okay, good. So get yourself one of these frames, get some mesh. If you go, we have a lens mill here, and I'm going to go on Monday to get them at lens mill store because it's significantly cheaper. So for now, that's what you're going to use. So next week, we're going to do one on a Unique in the Creek board. And we're going to see the difference of this. But this is one up here that we're going to make today. It looks similar. It's a little bit more difficult to do using that one of these, as opposed to the Unique boards. But this is one day next week. And I'm going to be doing it on my YouTube channel, Creations by Karen on YouTube. And you'll be able to find it there next week. And I'll post a link to it. Okay. Oh, but all of that made sense to you. If it didn't, I'm sorry. Okay. You're going to need some mesh. Now, I suggest strongly that you go to uniqueinthecreek.com to get your mesh, because you get a nice roll of this, and I can make 2 of these out of 1 roll of mesh, because I'm going to use 20 pieces of mesh that is measuring 10 by 10. Unique in the Creek, Michaels. Okay, look at the difference between the two. This is much better quality than you'll get at Michaels, and this is 10 inches by 10 yards. Keep that. And this is 10 inches by 19 feet. Significantly smaller. This is $17 a roll in Canada. And this is, you get twice as much from Unique in the Creek for the same price. Don't go to Michael's and get this. Go to Unique in the Creek and get it. All right. So, and I can get 2 of these out of 1 roll of mesh. If I'm using a larger piece or a larger board, then I can only use 1. But for this wreath, I'm going to use this mesh, and I can get 2 wreaths out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to cut 2 pieces of it. Now, don't do this inside, people. Do it outside. You need something to protect your nose and mouth. And I did use a respirator to do all the cutting of the mesh. And I've pre-folded it, I pre-cut it, just because, you know, it's not an attractive look for me. So I'm going to open this up. And I've got my wood burner turned on. That's good. Sorry about the noise. Once again, I'm downstairs. It's cold. Okay. So I have my mesh that I purchased at Unique in the Creek. If you just get hopping on and saying hi, hi Sandy. If you're just coming on, I'll have it on my link so you can go watch the replay. So this is 10 inches wide by 10 feet long. So I'm going to cut these at 10 inches wide by 10 inches long. So a square is what you want to make. So this kind of isn't cut evenly, so I'm just going to take my wood burner. Now remember, if you're doing this and you're cutting a lot of it, use something to protect your nose and face, nose and mouth, and like a respirator is what I suggest. I'm only going to cut a couple of pieces, so I'm not going to. Shame on me. It's okay. It's only 2 pieces. So I'm just going to kind of follow the line that's on here, cutting it down, just like this. So that makes a perfect line. Now I do have something that's going to protect my table when I'm doing this. And yes, you can go to Michael's and you can get something that will protect it. You spend a lot of money. Remember, I'm in Canada. Things are way more expensive here. But I'm kind of frugal. So what I've got is just a piece of styrofoam board, and I marked pattern on it of length. And then I just took a frame that had glass insert, and I'm using a glass insert for the frame to go on the top of my poster board. So I'm cutting this at 10 inches. Once again, protect your nose and mouth. Wood burner, got at Michael's. Use your coupon if you go to Michael's to buy anything. And I do. and I'm cutting it at 10 inches. And just follow the line. Look, it seals the edges. I use a wood burner instead of a knife or a pair of scissors. Why? Because it seals the edges and there's not as much fray. Yes, there's still fray, but certainly not as much. I'm going to do one more piece, and that's all I'm going to do. Just follow the line. Okay, I'm going to shut this off because I'm not going to use it anymore. Oh, this is challenging. Okay. Just put this aside for a second. I got my 2 pieces of mesh here, which are cut perfectly in a square. Get yourself some clothespins. 3 clothespins. Once again, I'm bordering on the OCD, so I use the same color. I don't mix and match. Just the way I do it. You do it any way you want. So, it's got, look at this mesh here. Can you see it? Okay, it's got a finished edge here, and this is where I cut with my wood burner. So I'm going to be turning it so that my finished edges are sort of, and this is like in a diamond, but this, my finished edges here and my finished edges here. So I'm just taking the bottom piece to the top, like so, putting it in a diamond, taking my clip, placing it on there on the top, and then I'm doing the same thing on each side, taking a clip, securing that, and then securing this. Okay, so then I'm going to turn it. I'm going to come to the middle, or as close to the middle as you can, and you're just going to ruffle it. Okay, so I make a pleat, and I got to get my rubber band. You need some rubber bands. Use clear. I use clear. Once again, OCD. Got my rubber band here. Okay, make a pleat. About an inch further from there, you can make another pleat. And then this piece, I'm just going to pleat again. On the other side, do the same. Pleat, pleat. Okay, so this is what you look like. You've pleated it. Now I take a rubber band and I just secure this on the bottom. This is the hardest thing for me. Okay, and then I just take this and put it around. Just 2 times, it's fine. Don't take that off yet. I'll show you again. Okay, here's my mesh. See, it's got a curl. That's okay. Take the bottom to the top, finished edge, put your clothes peg on there, take another one, clothes peg, and put another clothes peg. Turn it, make a pleat in the center, make another pleat and one more, then you come to the other side, make a pleat, and one more. Okay, hold that, take a rubber band, little rubber band, oh, let's see, here it is. Put your rubber band on there. Turn that on a second before I forget. Okay, so look, they're perfectly the same. That's what you want, them to be perfectly the same. Now, this is something that I do. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do it. Do I do it? Yes. Why? Because I do. it just makes it lie flatter. I just take this bottom and I'm going to cut half of this off. Take a pair of good scissors, keyword, right? So you haven't used this on paper, you're just using it in here. I just make a little cut here and I'm going to cut this off in half. And get your garbage handy here. Oh, because this gets all over. All right, so just cut this off. So sunflower and sunshine and sunflowers was a name that I chose. And if you also chose this name, it's because this lady chose it first. Was from Eleanor from Arkansas. So she's winning a wreath. It's going to be the larger one. Okay, so you've cut that off. Right? Put it aside. Just put it aside for a second. Take the next one. Just cut this off. Half of it. Take it. Cut it off. So all around the perimeter of my booth at the craft show is going to be sunflowers. Right? Just cut a little bit of that off there. We got that. That's perfect. Put this aside. Take this, garbage. This gets all over. It's okay. Just don't want it all over me. Okay, so you have your petals. And I've made 20 of these petals. Just take this top one off. Open it up. And this is something that you don't have to do. I do. Is just take my glue and just put a dab of glue on here and hold this. And that stops the petal from separating. It's just something I do. You don't have to do this. And then these can come off and your petal's ready to go. Show you again. Take take the top peg off, open that, and just put a dab of glue on there, just a little wee bit, and hold that together. Take these off. It's perfect. I like it. Okay. So all our petals are made. I've gone ahead and done that. Got a bucket of petals. You know the drift on this. This is what's left out of making 2 Michael's again. Not my favorite. I use Michael's Mash in a pinch. Okay, I've got my bucket of petals here. Just put them in there for you. All right, put this aside. And this is my wreath frame that I put the plastic mesh in, and I've added all my tie wraps to. Okay, 6-inch tie wraps. I think I got them on Amazon because they were smaller. You can get them at Unique in the Creek as well. And you can get, really, when I do the one on the large board, all the stuff came from Unique in the Creek. Okay, let's start making it, shall we? Just put this away. Now, you're going to need a couple of tools to make this. You're going to need a tie wrap. And I'm going to use this tie wrap to put on it for the hanger. So it can hang. Just 2 inches or so, twist, and just put it in the top at one of the rungs. Doesn't matter which one. Go round, and then I go around this one, and I just secure it like this. You can use tie wraps to do this. I just like to use Chanel stems, pipe cleaners, and I'm just going to cut this off. Now I don't want to use these because these are my good scissors. So let's use one of these in here. Here's a pair. We're going to cut this off. Okay, so I've got my Chanel stem on here, all ready to go. Okay, let's make this wreath now. You're going to need a couple of tools. You're going to need a pair of needle nose pliers, small ones if you can, and something to cut the tie wraps with. I'm using this. Got them at Michael's. So here we go. Take your mesh, put it down. I'm starting at the top just because I am. Place your petal in, and you're going to put this tie wrap right where you've got your where you've got your rubber band on here. I pull it. Now I cut them all off when I've got my whole circle done, and I'm using the inside rung. Okay, there's 3 rungs on here. So when I come to the next one, I'm going to put my petal in and snug it up. I'm not going to cut it off. Put your petal in. Right where you've got your rubber band or elastic. Cut this at the end. And you can adjust these a little bit. It's okay. But you just want to put all your petals around the outside. Take this. Is this going to look perfect? Probably not. Nothing in life is perfect. Just put your petal in, needle nose pliers, and just cut it off. Or snug it up. Take one more. Come around. And snug it up. This goes really, really fast. It's more irritating than the Unique and the Creek boards. So here I've come to the rung, where I've also have a tie wrap on here. So I'm not going to do anything with these. The more you touch this, the more we're fray. Don't do that. Don't touch it. Don't play with it. Just leave it alone. You can adjust it all once you get all these put in. And I always like to make sure my finished edge is always facing in the right direction, in the same direction. Look, they all look the same. Why do I do that? It's just the way I do it. So just come around and secure it up. Now there is a space in here since I've done them. I'm just going to just gently open these up. You don't need to worry about it. You don't need to worry about it. Now, if you want, you can cut these off because you've got 1/3 of them done. Just come in and cut your tie wraps off where you put them together. That's why you have your garbage handy. And I like to turn these towards the inside. Just turn them. Okay. Let's keep going. Take another one. Place it down where the rubber band is. Take this, snug it up. You don't have to adjust it right now. You can wait till you get all 3 in or 4 in. Two. And if you want to do, like secure the tops of them after, go ahead and do that. I like to do it all before when I'm folding the petals. But you can do whatever you like. This is purely inspirational. Look at, I forgot one here. Just going to stick this in here. Get talking. I get forgetful. Let's put this down. Here I've come to a crossbar. Just going to open this up, turn it, put your petal in. Snug it up. Adjust these so they look about centered, and just cut these off. Or you can wait until you're all the way around, and then you can go around and cut them off. Whatever you want to do. Okay, last three going in here. We'll adjust all these once we get it all done. Take another one, come in, place it down. So I think the key things for here are making your petals all uniform, meaning they're all the same size. Although some flower petals aren't always the same size, so you don't need to be that concerned about it. You just want to look good. And then put a little hot glue on the top peaks of them so they don't split apart. Will they split apart? They might. That's okay. One more, and my outside row is done. Place this down. Put your petal in. I'm going to tuck that underneath and snug it up. Adjust these so they look good. Take your cutter and cut these off. Turn these to the side. Oh, I forgot to turn these. There we go. Okay, so my outside foot is done. Doesn't look like much, does it? It will. Okay, give me a thumbs up if you like it so far. This will look good in an apartment door or a smaller space than a door on a house. Now I've got 8 on the inside row. So I just take my petal, place it down. First one's always a challenge. Goes down like this. Snug it up. Once again, I'm waiting till I have all my petals in before I cut those off. Take the next one, place it down, and you're not going to have any dead spaces in here, and that's kind of what you want. Snug it. Turn, put the next one in. So I'm going to have all of these around the outside of the perimeter of my booth, because you know the name that I have chosen is Sunflowers and Sunshine, which are good for spring and for summer craft shows. So this is just cute. Am I going to have other wreaths? Yeah, I am. But sunflowers are very, very popular in my area. So do whatever you want to do in your area. Place this down. See how it's all covered in here? Don't worry about the center. We're going to cover that too. We're going to cover it with the center. Place this down. Let's go in like this. Snug it up. Oh, I like it. So cute. Just come in. This all looks uniform because it's all the same size petals. Two more. And then all my petals are in. I think I had enough to do 2 of these with 5 extra that I can use on the larger board. Snug this down. Last one. Place it down in. And snug it up. Okay. This looks cute. I like it. Now I'm going to cut all these off using my wire cutters. So, once again, there's 8 on the inside. Turn this to the side. Do you need to do this? Probably not. I just am. Just keeps everything sort of for not poking through. Don't need to worry about it that much on this row, but on the outside row you do. Okay. Just make some adjustments. We'll do all the adjustments on this after. All right. That part's done. Are you good with that? Now, I went on not Amazon. I think I got it on Temu. I purchased, oh my goodness, forgot to get it. Hang on one second. Find it. I think they're right here. Yep, got them. Sunflower Center on Temu. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for them, but it wasn't really expensive, and it came, I think, 4 or 5 to a package. And this is going to go right in the center of that. And that's going to cover up all that's evil on the inside. It's not evil, it's just, you know, it's attractive as the outside. So I put one of these cable mounts on the inside, and all I did is got a cable mount, and and they're sticky. And I put a little hot glue and a little bit of E6000 on here to secure it down so it's not going to go anywhere. So all you have to do never find anything I want. Let's use a tie wrap. You can use anything you want to do this. I'm going with the tie wrap. I come into this, turn this around. I come in, I've made a center like mark. Just come in, put it through there. Make sure it's going to close right. You can use a Chanel stem, you can use whatever you want. Do this any way that works for you. So then I just go through here and I just hook this in. Like that. So here it is at the back. I'm just going to secure this down. Yep, looks good. Cut it off. Look, the sunflower. Now you can be fine. If this is for yourself and you're making this for home, you don't have to do anything to the back. I am going to be selling these at a craft show, so I'm going to cover the back. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I took a piece of styrofoam. This is what it looks like. Okay, styrofoam. I got it at Michael's. And then I just place this down on the styrofoam and I cut a circle around the outside of my wreath form. This is all I did before I started making my wreath. And then I wanted to be able to find a way to secure it, so I just poke some holes with one of those and made holes around the whole outside so I can affix this to my wreath. So here's where I put my hanger, right? I'm going to start just to the side, but I'm going to put this on here, and this is going to cover up anything that is evil. Or, you know, anything in the inside of this. And this just makes it look finished. Once again, if you're doing this for yourself, you don't need to do this. So I just come in with the tie wrap, and I'm going to go through the back, the outside frame, and you're just going to secure this down. I'm going to put all my tie wraps on first before I cut them off. So I do the top one first. Okay, now don't snug it too snugly initially. You will go back and snug it. And then I'm going to go to the bottom, directly across, and another tie wrap on here. Once again, don't put it really snug yet, okay? Because you want to be able to manipulate it a little bit. And then I'm going to do two on the sides, and then I'll snug them. So you just take this, come in, don't snug it. You want to cover up that frame. That's going to be the key. Come around and put one more in. And once you've got this last one in, you can go ahead and snug them. Okay. Okay, now you can snug them up. Good enough. So then I'm going to go and put the rest of them in the outside. Once again, if you're doing this for yourself, you don't need to do this. It's just what I'm doing. It's just an extra step, but it also just finishes the wreath. Makes it look complete. I'm going to cut these all off when I'm finished putting them all in. What do you think, guys? Good morning, everybody. Sorry I haven't said hi to everybody. I know you're there. Just turn. Put this last one in. It's going to look really good. So I'm going to have a lot of different wreaths in my booth, but the sunflower will be predominant because, once again, it's one of the most popular ones. I've got all my tie wraps on, so I'm just going to go around and clip them all off. Okay, well, it looks good. I like it. Just go ahead and just turn those tie wrap ends to the inside. Now, flip it over. Just make sure all your petals are where you want them to be. Don't manipulate these. Don't spend a lot of time playing with the petals. It'll just irritate you, and then they'll start to fray. Okay, they look really good. Okay, I'm happy. Are you happy? Give me a thumbs up, guys. Give me a thumbs up if you thought I did a good job. I'll hold it up for you. There you go. Now, how big is this? Well, let's see. We're going to go from tip to tip. Got a ruler here. So that is 12 inches to there. So this will be 12 plus 9. So 21 inches across. So it would be fine for an apartment door or a small area, and that's why I used a small wreath frame. The next one we're going to do is on a Unique in the Creek board, which will be significantly larger, which would look great on an outside door. And the one we're going to make this week on the Unique in the Creek board on my YouTube channel is going to be for my front door. So there you go, guys. There is a sunflower wreath on a Dollar Tree wire frame. All right, that's it. That's it for today. Hope you guys have a great Sunday. It's snowing again in Canada. I'll be soon bored with it. Well, I am bored with it, but hopefully it'll stop sometime this month and we can proceed life as normal. And on that note, love you all. Have a great day. Bye.